to say because it's not always right now. I was thinking a couple of days before Paula passed away, I heard a gentle voice say to me from the other room, she said, Jay, I said, what? She said, you are a good man, so kind, and I love you. And then she thanked me for taking care of her. And I started to cry, and I wrapped my arms around her, and I told her that I love her with all of my heart, and that caring for her was the honor and the privilege of my life. She was my gift from God, and I thought about the vows that we made to each other, which would be 42 years in September. And these were vows taken before God, family, and friends. Many of you have made those similar vows, and you know what they are: to have and to hold, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and cherish, till death do us part. And Paula and I had a full life of for better, for richer, for poorer, and those for poorer days were great days, and we did have those budgets and those envelopes. We had health, and always loving and cherishing each other. What we had not truly experienced until the last year and a half, and in particular the last 6 months of Paula's precious life, was the for worse, the in sickness and the death. And what I learned is in this place, the darkest of times, that to love and to cherish is fully revealed. It is here that one's commitment to the promises made before God, family, and friends, that goes beyond those beautiful words, and they're tested by fire. When I made those vows to Paul, I understood deep in my spirit that those that loved her most, her precious parents, Jim and Ernestine, and her siblings, Patty and Greg and Pam and Paul, they were entrusting me with a gift of great worth, and they required nothing less than I give Paula everything that I had, all of me, all of my life. As I stand before you, a broken man, a man who has lost that which is most cherished, I say to God, to my children, my grandchildren, to Paula's parents and siblings, and all of you here today, I kept my promise. I kept it. I kept it. My precious Paula's suffering is now ended. This loving, kind, thoughtful, generous, faith-filled, extraordinary woman is at rest in the arms of a loving God. My brokenness continues, and I'm not looking to God to fix my brokenness. But what I'm counting on, that He is with me in His presence within that brokenness.
Yes.
The night Paula passed, I sat alone in the quietness of my daughter, my son-in-law's family room, and I don't remember the exact hour, but it was pre-dawn, and there was a slight light coming through the window, and I had this feeling of unrelenting sorrow and actually fear. And I wondered out loud, and I knew that God was hearing me, but I wasn't really talking to myself. I said, how will I live? What will I do? And who will I become without Paula? I'm lost without her. I asked, can I be found? And did I even want to be found? Paula and I were one. And I've lost half. The wound is deep, and it's seemingly impossible to navigate. But as I sat, I remembered that Paula and I both loved this author, C.S. Lewis, and actually it was extraordinary that Meredith had mentioned C.S. Lewis as well. He's known primarily for writing Chronicles of Narnia, which she loved. But he had also written a series of letters that I recall called Grief Observed, and these were a series of 3 or 4 letters that he wrote having lost his precious wife, whom he called H. So I downloaded an audio version, it feels like a reading, and I listened to it, and I wanted to read you a passage that really spoke to me there. C.S. Lewis said, I thought I could describe a state and make a map of sorrow. Because I wanted a map. I wanted to know, how do I get from where I'm at, point A, to point B? The people who know me, the people who work with me, the people who train with me know I like point A to point B, and how do I get there? Right? We're walking in the woods, I'm 10 steps ahead, and Paula's looking at moss on a tree. I'm going from one trailhead to the next. But then he says, sorrow, however, turns out not to be a state, but a process. It needs not a map, but a history. And if I don't stop writing that history at some quite arbitrary point, there's no reason why I should ever stop. There is something new to be chronicled every day. Grief is like a long valley, a winding valley, where any bend may reveal a totally new landscape. Paul and my history is long. It's a history of love that is now at the center of my sorrow. It's a history that started for me the very first time I saw Paul. We were in a Bible study in an art studio on Grove Seal, led by a great man named Carl Batternay. I could not believe how beautiful she was. At that moment, I truly knew that she was the one for me, and I set my course. But there was an obstacle. She had a serious boyfriend. His name was Pete Zammit. No relation to me.
Wow.
But Paula having a boyfriend, especially with the last name Zammit, not only I was not discouraged the least, I was actually encouraged by that. Because the way that I saw it, she was on the right track. I love it. All I had to do was convince her that that was the wrong example. Course corrected. I executed my plan perfectly. 3 weeks later, I had not only won Paula over, she agreed I was the right Zammit. We were married a little over a year later. I was 20 and she was 19. Paul and my history together produced 2 incredible children. A boy, Jacob, my daughter, Meredith. She was an incredible mother. Who themselves married wonderful spouses that Paul and I loved as our own children, Rachel and Jeff. It's a history that blesses with 5 beautiful grandbabies up here. Izzy, Ellie, Harlow, Evie, and our little man looking at his iPhone. I don't know how many months old he's got an iPhone. Jacob 4. Paula was called Nana. She adored her grandchildren and made her. It's a history where we made many wonderful, lifelong friends that are here. Everyone that knew Paul, and you heard the testimony, could sense there was something very special and unique about her. She cared deeply for others and showed all people love and kindness. C.S. Lewis said, this is not a history, or the final chapters have not been written, and I'm going to be looking to God, my family, and